What's up, guys? Chun is back. I've got another 4th gen standard battle for you guys today. This is against NightStormZX from the TPX Zat chat, and it was a pretty good match. And I was still kind of reeling after my last loss. I felt like it was definitely one of those games where I could have won, but in the end I beat myself. So let's see if I can get on the rebound here, and let's go ahead and get started. I'm leading off with Frostlass. He's going to lead off with a Drapion. Now his Drapion is actually Jolly with max speed because he outspeeds me here, and I don't quite have a perfect speed IV on this Frostlass. So otherwise I would outspeed by 2 points normally, given my nature. So he is able to get the first layer of toxic spikes down before I can taunt, and I just stay in here and just go ahead and lay spikes because that is a priority. If nothing else, at least I'll get one layer down. And here I just decided to stay in and just ice shard it just to deal some type of damage to it. I don't think I noticed the life orb on this Drapion yet, and he finishes me off with a crunch. So it wasn't a huge deal. I didn't exactly lose a turn because of the speed thing, but I'm gonna go into Heatran, and he's gonna switch out and go into his Togekiss. I went for the obvious Earth Power there. I knew that Shuka Berry would prevent the one-hit KO from Earthquake if he had it, so that tells me he's not carrying Earthquake. But anyway, Togekiss is in. I get the Stealth Rocks up, and then I just start throwing Flamethrowers at it. Now, seeing as I saw a Flyer, now we're going to trade hits back and forth here for a couple of turns, and I'm just going to keep going for Flamethrower. Now I noticed that his Togekiss is he's got definitely got some investment in bulk, particularly special defense and maybe HP too. So he was really trying to get the boost from Ancient Power, but 20% chance isn't much better than 10%. But I was still fearing the boost, and I was trying to plan ahead in case he did get it. So I got him low enough, but of course he barely lives the next Flamethrower, and he goes for the Roost. So I decide I need to deal with this situation a little bit differently. So I immediately go to Lucario, but he Roosts again, which I should have expected. And I was thinking he would Ancient Power again for some reason. I really don't know why, since Heatran outspeeds anyway, so Heatran would easily get the 2-hit KO if I stayed in. So I decided to try to make the most of it by scouting to see if he carries a super effective move for Lucario. So I go to Gengar expecting the Aura Sphere, but he actually carries Flamethrower, which is good because now I know he doesn't carry Aura Sphere. His last move has to be Air Slash, so Heatran can wall this thing all day as long as it doesn't get a boost. So I go back to him, and I start the cycle up again. Now, but this time I do plan to sacrifice Heatran just to get 2 Flamethrowers on it, so I can get Togekiss low enough to bring something else in on the free switch. Now, here he is going to finish me off with an Ancient Power, and pretty unfortunate. He never got a boost, but I mean, as I said, 20% chance still isn't that high with Serene Grace. So I'm actually going to bring Infernape in here, and I'm just going to finish it with a close combat. Pretty good, since I won't get the Toxic Poison from Toxic Spikes, and Infernape's the only thing on this team that's affected by Toxic Spikes, so I definitely had to catch up because I was falling behind. The score was already 6-4 with him in the lead, so he's going to bring Jolteon in on the free switch in. Now, all of my guys take neutral damage from Thunderbolt, so I decide to reveal the fact that I am Scarfed. And if he was Scarfed too, I would have had to do some complicated moves if he locked in the Thunderbolt, but thankfully he's not. So I am able to one-shot it, so I've tied the game back up. He's now, knowing that I'm Scarf now, he's going to bring Gallade in, because he knows I'm locked into close combat. I consider close combating again, since Gallade has horrible defense and wouldn't like taking one even if it resists it. But I just decided to go to Dragonite in the end, and he shows Bulk Up. And he shows the Leftover, so... Now here I thought about Extreme Speed, but I had to consider two things. That it probably won't one-hit KO at +1 defense, and it might not even two-hit KO. And Bulk Up sets, sometimes they don't run max speed on them, at least from my experience, so I go for the Draco Meteor, and I almost one-hit KO it. So I kind of started to question his special defense investment, but he bulks up again, probably expecting either a physical attack, a setup move, or that a special attack wouldn't do that much, so I just go ahead and finish it off with an Extreme Speed. Even at +2, it's more than enough to KO, so he's going to bring Torterra in on the free switch in. Now, this Torterra proved to be very annoying throughout the game. I missed the Fire Blast and he sets up an Amnesia, so that immediately tells me that he plans to just wall me. So I'm going to go to Infernape because a -2 Fire Blast isn't going to do much to a +2 Torterra. And I was scouting the set he had, figuring Stone Edge was the worst case scenario, and it wouldn't one-hit KO Infernape, but he has Body Slam, so I'm going to continue to scout the set by going to Gengar expecting an Earthquake, but now he shows the Leech Seed, so his last move must be a Grass Stab is what I'm thinking. So this really sucks because the whole time he's basically predicting my switches, and he keeps going for Leech Seed and setting up with Amnesia. Here I just decided to stay in with Shadow Ball just to see how much it does, but at +2 it does almost nothing, and he gets another Amnesia up. So this is getting really annoying. Now I am going to go back to Dragonite here, but of course he's going to predict my switch after seeing how what little damage Shadow Ball did, so he goes for Leech Seed again. So this is really starting to suck. So I decided to go for the Fire Blast just to see how much I can do, but at +4 it barely does over 25%, even though it's super effective. So at this point I'm gonna have to hit him on the physical side. You know, Torterra's got pretty good physical defense, so I'm just gonna leave Dragonite in at this point, and I'm gonna hit it with a superpower. Now the plan here is to, once I hit him with this superpower, I'm gonna bring Lucario in, and I'm just gonna finish it off with an Ice Punch. So that's exactly what I plan to do here, and Torterra ended up being really, really annoying for me. But the Ice Punch is gonna do enough to one-hit KO it, so I got that wall out of the way. It sucks because I don't have anything on this team to put stuff like that on the timer. I just have to switch around and do enough damage and then finish it off with a super effective move. So he's gonna bring Drapion back in. I thought he still might have Earthquake, so just in case I go to Gengar, but he actually carries the Fire Fang and he misses, which kind of sucks for him. But because he outsped Frostlass earlier, I thought he might outspeed Gengar too, even though it's a plus speed nature, so I got spooked. And I went to Infernape expecting Crunch, and I should never have done that. Because I forgot about poison damage, and Ape was Scarf, so I might have needed him to sweep. So I thought I had lost at this point, so I bring Gengar back in. I just go for the Thunderbolt, because this is my last chance to win, since I know Drapion will outspeed Lucario, and I outspeed it, thankfully, and the Thunderbolt does just enough to take it out. And his last Pokemon is Skarmory. I will be able to hit it with a Thunderbolt. It looks like it is specially defensive though, because it's not going to one-hit KO. And he's actually going to show that he has Fly. So he's going to fly up. And I guess the strategy with that Skarmory was to stall out with Toxic Spikes, as long as they were set up by Drapion. But against this team it just doesn't work. So now I'm going to bring Lucario in just to keep Gengar safe. And I don't want to get in KO, so but I am gonna be able to finish the game up with Lucario, and I'll just go straight for the close combat, and that will take Skarmory out, and that is gonna be the game. But It was a good game, NightStormZX. I hope to play you again sometime. And that's pretty much it, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you saw and you like what you heard. And Chun is out. Peace.